Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of December 15th, 2025 to order. If everyone could please stand, I'm going to ask Councilwoman Moranti to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was a good one. All right, thank you, everyone. We have no presentation scheduled for this evening, no public hearings. We can move right to item 3, minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Christopher.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the December 1st, 2025 regular meeting.
Second.
All right, a motion and a second. Are there any comments, questions, or changes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, announcements and reports. Councilwoman Moranti.
I did attend 2 minutes last week. Conservation Commission monthly meeting. Couple of highlights. You know, they talked about the status of things at Tomaso Nature Park and the pond at Paderewski. Of course, things are quiet at both places now that we're into the cold weather season. They also talked about the possibility of a local natural resource inventory, which I think was done a number of years ago. And also talked about some possible new technology to address the problems that we had quite a number of years ago now with the oxygen level at Paderewski Pond. Library Board of Trustees also met last week, and as I'm sure people are aware, they did make a decision to have a Christmas tree in the library. The teen position has been posted. They also discussed ways to memorialize some people that were either on the library staff or on the library board in the past. Will have a special meeting on January 6th on the budget before it gets moved along to the town manager. And once again, there was a circulation increase from November of last year to this year. Kind of a considerable increase in circulation, which is great.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other announcements or reports this evening?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilman Ginneman.
we attended 2 meetings last week. The POCD Town Council Subcommittee, we met last Monday. Just went over our charge and what was going to be happening during the subcommittee meetings. Our next meeting is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. in the Learning Commons at the high school. We will be discussing we'll be going over and reviewing the council agendas minutes and the P&Z agenda minutes, just to make sure they match up and see if there's anything there. And we'll also be working on the application to amend the POCD to restore the 2019 map notation. And the other thing is Capital Projects Building Committee met last week. They approved phase 1 of the designs, which phase 1 is the temporary classrooms. Let's see, what else? Temporary classrooms. So they approved the designs and the scope of work, so the contractor can bring it to the state and get the state approval, so we can be ready to go in April when we start.
Go out to bid.
Yep.
All right. And the POC subcommittee meeting, that is public. It's a public meeting, just like ours are public. So anyone's welcome to join them at the high school for that. Anyone else with
Mr. Chair?
Announcement? Yes.
I just want to announce that the Town of Plainville, along with Economic Development Agency, are doing the Explore Plainville Passport again this year. And what it is if you would like to participate, you can go to Town Hall, the library, or the website, and you get a passport. There are 16 businesses in town that are participating. So what you need to do is go to a minimum of 5 of those businesses, spend $10, and they stamp your passport. And then you can bring the passport back to the box that will be labeled at the library or town hall, and you get entered into a drawing. And it's just a nice way for citizens to get involved with the local businesses and go there and spend some money. So if you're interested, please go get a passport. There's actually some really good businesses, and it's all listed on the town website, the businesses that are participating. So please join.
Mr.
Thank
Chairman,
you.
Yes,
I have a
Council.
question for Quinn on that. I know last year for the passport, I was told after I had already gone to maybe 5 or 6 of the places that you needed to keep your receipt for the place too, as well as get a stamp on it. So is that still the case? 'Cause a lot of people were throwing their receipts away. They didn't know that.
Oh
they
yeah,
had
it
to do
says
that.
drop off your stamp passport and receipts at a drop box
right.
location at town hall. So I would say staple the receipts to your passport and probably put it in an envelope.
Okay, good to know. Thank
Ensure
you.
that it's all good. And it's running from, I probably should have said this, it's running from December 9th to January 5th. And the winner will be announced on the town's Facebook page the week of January 12th.
Okay, thank you.
That's
All right.
it.
Anyone else with an announcement or report?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Just a brief report from the Inland Wetland Commission meeting that took place on Wednesday, December 3rd. The next meeting, for your reference, will be Wednesday, the 7th. It was my first meeting, so I don't have a lot to report, but it was a very robust meeting with a presentation regarding the MSP renovation and the impact to wetlands. It was interesting to see the old drawings from 30 years ago, and we just have to do some work on matching the maps from what was designated as wetlands then to what is in our existing records. And I'm just there as an observer, but a great meeting and good discussion.
All right. Thank you. Anyone else with an announcement or a report? All right. We will move now to item 5, appointments and resignations. There is one appointment on the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman Getteman.
motion to appoint James Lenoyce Jr. as fire inspector.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any other announcements or reports this evening? Okay, we can actually now move to item 7, report of the town attorney. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I just want to reiterate with Councilman Getteman said we did have a meeting of the POCD subcommittee last week, and the agenda for tomorrow night's meeting, I believe, has been posted this afternoon so that the public can see what we have planned and what the different sections are going to be. I also just want to make a couple comments after the public comments that we had last meeting. And primarily there was a question with regard to who does the town attorney represent. So I took a look at the charter, and our charter provides that I am of counsel to all our boards and commissions, and obviously to the manager and the council, and that the council members as well as the manager are the entities that can actually request me to draft ordinances or resolutions. So that to the extent that resolution or ordinance is required, those requests need to come through the manager or the council, just so it's relatively clear the way this works. Okay. And the other thing was, just as my experience as town attorney, I was town attorney in Rocky Hill for 12 years. I was town attorney in South Windsor for 4. This is the 3rd time I've been a town attorney for a town. I think that probably makes me as experienced as any other town attorney in Connecticut. Excuse me. So I just wanted to indicate that for the record, because there was a question, and I am a trial lawyer too, but I have over 30 years of experience as a town attorney. So I think that was the remarks I wanted to address from the last meeting. And does anybody have any questions?
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Go ahead. Councilwoman Tompkins.
Morris, I was wondering, because I got a few questions from Planning and Zoning Committee members. I had looked at the minutes and seen that there was a lot of staff members that were there as guests, not subcommittee members, but staff members. And some of the Planning and Zoning people were wondering whether there could be invitations extended to 1 or 2 members of the Planning and Zoning Committee that could also be present for this, the meetings.
Well, those are public meetings, so the planning and zoning commissioners are certainly welcome to be there. As far as extending invitations for presentations or anything along those lines, I would defer to the committee.
Okay.
I mean, I think you've now made the request public, and I think our
mean-
committee chair is aware of it now, and
It makes sense, don't you think, though?
I would defer to the committee.
Should be there, you know?
Well, and that's maybe now's a good time to discuss it. You know, Councilwoman Tompkins mentioned it a little bit before the meeting, but you know, having a planning and zoning representative on the actual committee, since
Can you have someone that's not on the town council on a town council subcommittee?
I believe, yes, that I know we can. Specific to planning and zoning, I would defer just to make sure that's okay, but certainly we've had non-council people on a subcommittee before.
So this is not something that I was aware we were going to be considering this evening with regard to changing the composition of the subcommittee and increasing its membership. I would think that we would need to have a motion and a vote. And do we have that on our agenda for tonight?
Not
To
tonight,
take that
no.
kind of action. So I can certainly provide you with guidance before the next meeting.
If you could, yes. I
I would
mean,
be happy to do that.
And I wouldn't be ready to make that motion or even take that vote tonight. I'm concerned that if we have somebody from planning and zoning on the committee, it'll taint what we're going to send to planning and zoning.
That's kind of,
Once again, I think that
That's kind of ridiculous.
well, I think that I
Thank
can give an opinion. I can give an opinion to you with regard to the propriety of that, and then you could have proper debate at that time after everybody knows what the opinion is. If you could defer until then, or you can. I have no. I'm not running this meeting, so
yeah, I would say for
Yeah,
now, if
legal
you could just
questions, I'd be
look at
happy to
the
answer them.
legality of it to make, you know, from the perspective adding people and adding members, give us that guidance, and then certainly at the next meeting we can discuss it.
I just didn't like the verbiage that you used, Ben, that's all.
The word tainted.
Yeah, tainted, I think.
Well, I think if we're going to be sending a recommendation or an application to planning and zoning, it wouldn't be proper to have a planning and zoning member's name on that document or even have input in it.
you want me to comment? I would agree with that, but
Okay.
Tainted.
Well, if you still can do the research for
I will.
us, please, you know, we can have a discussion and, you know,
and certainly they're more
See it
than
to the
welcome
end.
to come to hear. At
Yep.
the pub. They're public meetings. Once again, as long as they don't come in a quorum, in which case
Right.
there may be an issue. I doubt it. I think they still could, but I would just be leery of that.
Okay,
all right.
all right, thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Chair,
Yes.
I just have a comment on that. I like that at our last POCD meeting, one of the first steps that we took was adding the public comment section. So with it being a public meeting, we would encourage as many people to come as possible, and that time would be available also for public comment. So that's an opportunity to
Right.
get any thoughts in.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions on this subject? Or any other questions in general for the town attorney? Anything else you want to report?
No, thank you.
Okay. All right, we will close the report of the town attorney and we'll move to item 8, report of the town manager. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I have 5 items, and then I'll turn it over to Andy for happenings. First item is just a brief update on the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail. Talked to Bill Hogan, DOT, and public comment period for the project referenced as 0109-0173, Farmington Canal Heritage Trail Phase 3, closed on December 5th, 2025, and at this time, they're reviewing all comments and will be providing responses. Connecticut DOT anticipates a follow-up discussion with the town will take place in the new year, and I'll be working on tentative dates for January, February, communicating with them and coordinating with them. Item number 2, just wanted to bring to the public's attention and to the council that the Route 72 bridge rehabilitation in Plainville, New Britain is going to be ongoing for quite some time. The Connecticut Department of Transportation is announcing that the stage construction will continue to be performed on various features carrying Route 72 in Plainville, New Britain. This project started on Monday, April 28, 2025, with an anticipated completion of Thursday, August 27, 2026. There will be a stage shift requiring continued lane closures on Route 72 westbound just past exit 4 and the Route 9 northbound off-ramp to Route 72 westbound from late December 2025 to fall of 2026. Traffic control signing patterns will guide motorists through the work zone. So this is a significant project. I think we knew that going in, but there's a better timeline for the council and for the public to be aware and plan accordingly. Item number 3, winter reminders. Done this past couple of years. Just as winter approaches, the town wishes to remind residents of the following policies and ordinances, which are posted to our website under winter reminders and shared on social media. The mailbox policy. Residents should evaluate their mailbox to ensure they can stand up to a New England winter and is compliant with the town's mailbox replacement policy. Responsibilities to remove snow and ice from the sidewalk no later than 24 hours after the end of snowfall. Prohibition from plowing, throwing, or putting snow or ice in a public roadway or street. Fire hydrant snow removal. Clear 3 feet circle around fire hydrants and keep them accessible. And also, we repealed the ordinance for the all-night parking ban from December 1st to April 1st. Now parking bans will be issued during storm events. Christmas tree collection. After the holiday season, Plainville residents may dispose of their Christmas tree at no cost at the transfer station or allow the roadways department to collect them curbside. Trees may be disposed at the transfer station located at the end of Granger Lane beginning Friday, December 26th through the end of January. Trees should be placed in the designated collection bin outside the transfer station gate. Decorations must be removed from trees, and trees should be removed from any bag they are transported in. Residents can dispose of the bag in regular household trash. Starting January 2nd, the roadways department will collect Christmas trees curbside. Residents are asked to leave their trees at the curb, not in the roadway. Trees must be free of decorations, snow and ice, and should not block any sidewalk or walkway. Trees will be collected until the end of January. And that is it for those 4 items. I'll pause for any questions before we get to financial dashboard.
All right. Any comments or questions for the town manager?
Mr. Chair? You know,
Councilwoman Moran.
the town manager can just quickly identify the ways that people can find out about the parking ban.
Yeah, well, we're going to likely do our website, social media, and even probably the code red alert when possible. And likely shouldn't be a problem in terms of advance notice of events like that.
Thank you.
Councilman Gitterman.
Yeah, can you, so I understand that not removing the ice and snow from a sidewalk within 24 hours, where are people supposed to call to report that?
You can call.
Do they call here?
You can call here, or they can call the roadways.
And then someone from here would go out and check it? Because I know in the past they've been directed to call the police.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure.
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know if that's still the practice, but I would say here and the roadways.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure why the police got involved to do that, but other than the same way the rationale I have is that our crews are out on the street and can do that. But
Right.
we're not taking away from, the police
Right.
would be, not obviously want them involved in responding to calls and not, looking for violations
Right.
in terms of snow, whereas our roadways and building and grounds can visually inspect while they're out there as well.
Right.
So, thank you for that.
Sure.
All right. Any other questions or comments for the town manager? All right. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 9, public
No,
comments.
public,
I'm sorry,
financial dashboard.
financial dashboard. I tried. I tried.
All right, I get the message. Here's what I have to offer. I will get through this as quickly as I can, and I
No, it's, don't, I was kind
I
of joking.
think that it is rather unremarkable. The numbers are good. I think in the future, maybe for January, start of January in the new calendar year, that I could try to summarize and just hit the notes. Everything is here for your review. So if you had questions, you can see me before, you can see me after. Anyone, that we publish it, so anyone from the public can see it as well. But I'll go through and then I'll try to modify my presentation going forward for January. How's that? All right. So with that, our revenue, expenditures to date, the top line, 34 million roughly, and about 45%, 45.72, just under the 2-year average of 46.27. That breaks down to the general government of 51.23%, under the 2-year average of 53, and on the Board of Ed side, it is 42.43, running just slightly above the 42.03 2-year average. I think, okay. Next page I want to go through is the overtime budgets and police and dispatch. They have expended $269,152, 20,000, roughly just about 20,000 above their 2-year average of 249,244. Roadways expenditure is 41,398, under their 2-year average of 52,000. And building and grounds at 33,900, about 7,000 above their 2-year average of 26,791. The hauling tonnage for solid waste is 2,586, which is above the, just under the 2,589. Boy, these numbers are tough to read even for me. So again, we've been, those numbers have been flopping back and forth between solid waste and recycling. Recycling is up. Tons collected, 476.91, above their 2 average of 450. On the revenue side, 39,796,589, representing 52.16%, slightly above the 2-year average of 51.87%. On tax side revenue, 34,358,281, representing 59.46, slightly under the 59.86% collected, but right in line with what we expect. Our unfunded, undesignated fund balance remains unchanged. The estimated unassigned fund balance for 6/30/26 is going to be $9,657,482 for a 12.66% balance. Moving on to special revenue, there's really nothing to report there. I can really kind of dispense with that, with the exception of the Water Pollution Control Fund, as the numbers in terms of revenues are higher, based on the fact that we've just sent out the billing. So things like that I can notate in the January round. Also, I think I did report and haven't gotten around to cleaning up the major projects report, but obviously we've got the MSP renovation fund for the school project, and we have a meeting report that comes out, but these are the numbers behind it. We'll update those. Honor Heights, as I said, is finished up. Turf maintenance fund hasn't changed much in the 3 years I've been here, and ARPA is finished up, and then Whiting Street and the road bond is something we'll initiate a restart on the road bond. So try to clean that up a bit and move forward with a summary going forward. Any questions?
Any questions on the financial dashboard?
Nope.
All right. And no questions on the town manager's report still? We can move on to happenings. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I do have some happenings to report for this evening from the Plainville Public Library. We have some events, and for all information on library programs, including registration, you can call the Plainville Public Library at 860-793-1446 or visit www.plainvillect.com/library. The greeting card workshop will be on Tuesday, December 23rd from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is for ages 3 and up, no registration required. Impressionism 101 with the Florence Griswold Museum on Monday, December 29th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. You can learn to paint in the style of Impressionism with a special guest from the Florence Griswold Museum. No prior experience is necessary. This is open to grades 5 through 12, and registration is required. Cookie decorating on Tuesday, December 30th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. This is open to all ages. Family groups are welcome, and registration is required. When you register, you could indicate if there are any food allergies in your party. New Year's Eve on Wednesday, December 31st from 11 a.m. to noon. You could ring in the new year without staying up till midnight. You could enjoy interactive story time and a dance party followed by some crafts. This is for ages 3 and up. Siblings are welcome, and there's no registration required. And from the Senior Center. For all information on Senior Center programs, you can call the Plainville Senior Center at 860-747-5728. All programs are free and open to the public unless otherwise indicated. The Plainville High School Chamber Choir will be performing on Tuesday, December 16th at 3 p.m. Grandparents Support Group on Tuesday, December 16th at 10:30 a.m. It's an opportunity to share resources, ideas, struggles, joys, and more with fellow grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. The Toffelon Christmas Concert on Wednesday, December 17th at 11 a.m. Students from Toffelon Elementary School will bring holiday cheer to the Senior Center with heartwarming performances of classic Christmas songs. And finally, the Memory Cafe on Thursday, December 18th at 2 p.m. This is a space for any individuals experiencing memory loss and their loved ones. Registration is required, and you can call Stephanie Susi at 860-747-5728.
All right. Thank you very much. Before we move on, any questions for the town manager or for the assistant town manager? All right. Well, at this point in the meeting, we will move to public comments. You'll have 3 minutes to make your comment. Please step forward to the podium, give your name and address. The first ring means you have 30 seconds left, and the second ring indicates the 3 minutes is up. Is there anyone that wishes to address the council? Yes, ma'am. And just make sure you hit the button at the bottom of the microphone there. You take your time. We haven't started your time yet.
Just something quick. So good evening, Georgia Bedell, 28 Pequot Road. I just want to address the proposal to add the planning and zoning member to the POCD. I don't feel this is appropriate. Planning and zoning declined to read the town attorney's legal advice into public record at their last meeting. Because the POCD changes will set back to planning and zoning for actions, placing a planning and zoning member on a subcommittee creates a clear conflict of interest. Planning and zoning should absolutely participate, but publicly on the record like everybody else. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council this evening? Yes, Mr. Kislick. Thank you.
John Kislick, 65 Forestville Avenue. Chris, you've been getting a little bit better with our time, so I appreciate that. Last week you were generous. And
wait, you can talk about that more if you want. I'll give you extra time. You don't have to. You really race through that really quickly.
keep my
No? Okay.
well,
That's all right.
give me that time back.
Yeah, no problem.
The other thing, last meeting.
And yes, the check did clear. I take it, so that's good.
Last meeting, I was really energized by the group of people we had here. It was amazing. I didn't feel so all alone anymore. And to have the town council, the town attorney, and the town manager ask questions is great. That's what I like to see. So I'm not the only one who does that. Now, I gave you a copy of the organizational chart. I wish you can give a copy to every member of the town council, town attorney, and town manager. I've had this for years, probably since we had a guy from the state come down and talk to us. And because there were some questions the last meeting, you can see the citizens elect the library board, register of voters, judge of probate, and the town council. And the council is like above the town treasurer, appointed commissions, appointed boards, the town attorney, and the town manager. The town manager is in charge of all our other employees, basically except Board of Ed. One of the questions I have, not to pick on the town manager, but we had an employee who lost his job because of some kind of mess up in planning and zoning. Now, the town manager is in charge of like economic development and the town planner. I would think that should fall on the town manager, that the town manager takes the responsibility. It's not this guy who came in here, I met him once, and he was brand new. I don't think he's even been in here a year. I think he should have been given some slack. And the town manager handled this as town manager, and if there's anybody taking a hit, I think it should be the town manager. And not that he's gonna even take a hit. Something was messed up and you're gonna get it straightened out. Now, the other thing I have, and this is a personal thing with me and probably the town manager, because the town council appoints commissions and appoints boards with the recommendation of the town manager. Now, I have something that would take a few minutes, Chris, if you let me do it.
I can give you a little extra time.
I've been in this town since 1956. I can go way back as far as serving on boards and commissions, way back when they were going to get rid of Trask School. I was on the school closing committee. I was against closing the school, so you know where that went. Then there was a roof being replaced at the high school years ago for any renovations. Ended up in court because the contractor wanted to sue us for not letting him have the job. Then Marlis Kowalczyk recommended me for Capital Projects Building Committee, and I was appointed to that. I served my 6-year term and asked not to be reappointed, mainly because I don't believe in the renovate as new project. It's such a waste of money. I just didn't want to be part of it. But while I was on there, when we had Trask School, Toffline School, as a member of the committee, I was instrumental in getting the referendum for that rejected twice. And when it came down, they did value engineering. We saved $1 million and also had so much money that we did the playscape. So I'm just talking about things that I do for the town as a citizen. Now, the next one, town council person Rosemary Moranti called me and asked me to join the 150th anniversary. Talked me into it, and so I did. As a member of that, I came up with an idea for fundraising that I financed myself with probably close to $3,000 so the town would not have to invest any money. Ben Genneman was our chairman. In between Ben, the rest of our committee, some really nice town employees, Marilyn Charette, we made over $4,000 for the 150th anniversary. Now, my point is, I do stuff for the town. When I get involved in a committee, I give 100% if I could. Now, I applied for a position on Park and Rec Advisory Board, and the town manager turned me down. And I feel like either he's the wrong person to vet a person or whatever. I don't see why I should have been turned down with all the stuff, all my history with the town, everything I've done. And I think it's wrong. Maybe we should have somebody else who vets these people for commissions and boards. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And just one clarification, I'm not sure, you mentioned someone lost their job because of the planning and zoning issue. I don't,
Well, I could be wrong, but I understood that the person who took Mark DeVoe's place lost his job.
No.
no. He resigned. He found a job in the private sector
then-
and
then
took that job and resigned
sorry,
from
I
here.
thought- I-
Oh, no, I just want to make sure we were talking about this, the same position. I was,
Didn't know the conditions, I only knew he wasn't here anymore, so that's my mistake.
okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council? Harlan?
Good evening, Harlan Bedell, 28 Pequot Road. Last town council meeting, the town manager asked for evidence because he said, quote, "We can't just walk out there with a zoning officer without evidence." These were taken days after. And I just want to thank the town manager and also assistant town manager for acknowledging those videos and getting back to me in a timely fashion. As you can see, the dust is in the roadway, over their property lines. I know the town manager and assistant town manager said they're going to follow up. And under the town's website, it says Jacob is the code enforcement officer. I reached out to Jacob. He passes it on to Bossy. Bossy does not respond to voicemails or anything. Finally did get a hold of him. He passes it back to Jacob. So I'm just trying to be clear in who enforces this as the code enforcement officer. So when residents do have complaints, it's not getting passed back and forth to different people. So who's the actual code enforcement officer for the town of Plainville?
Well, in this,
Do you have an answer?
well, when it comes to this subject matter, I'll say a few things. That we'll likely have a team effort on this, and with respect to Jacob and John stepping up to fill in for the absent planner position. I think the attorney is also being consulted in terms of, with respect to research and opportunities for understanding dust control, jurisdiction, and enforcement. So we don't have all the answers at this point, but it is something we're working through, and we'll just have to go step by step, but it'll take a little bit more time.
Is that, do we have someone who is considered an enforcement official, or is it just part of someone's job description to be?
Yeah.
I know some communities have an actual person, or in some cases more than one person, whose job is to just enforce the code. Whereas with our turnover, I know that some of the turnover is we've had to shift things, but from our perspective, and I don't know if you're asking that kind of direct question.
Yeah, kind of. And another thing too, not to interrupt you,
No, go ahead.
but when I actually did speak to Bossy, his lack of, well, I guess so, I'll get to it, just nothing.
Okay.
Then he blamed it on Deep, and I spoke to Deep. I spoke to a bunch of higher ups, and they basically said, you need to tell your town officials to do their job. Town follows state law. Just like if a resident has a complaint and they call the police department follows through. It's local government, it's their jurisdiction. They don't say, okay, call the state police. It needs to happen by local government. And then Bossy said, it's the zoning department. And he has nothing to do with that. But page 131 says, these regulations shall be enforced by the zoning enforcement officer. So, again, when residents have complaints about zoning ordinances, zoning regulations, who do we contact? Because these are violations of laws, statutes that our town adheres through the state, and they're also on their own town ordinance. So, who do we complain to?
And that's an answer we have to get. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think
I mean, it's pretty clear, on the town page who it is. It's black and white.
Yeah.
But it just sucks to keep getting the runaround. And no offense, I appreciate you getting back to me, but we can't use the excuse silica. It's just dust in general. And it's not just me complaining. I mean, you yourself said it's an issue that we need to look into, and it's because of all the residents in town complaining. You know, I posted these videos on Facebook, and I understand it's just social media, but the comments, oh, it's awful, driving through there, this, that. And it's beyond their property, and it's into the road, and not to get all tree hugger, but it goes into the waterways, it goes, you know, covers plants, everything. It's dust control, it's fugitive dust. So I understand you need time. I get
Well,
that.
you know, because on the web, oh, do you want?
Can I address a couple
Yeah.
of these things? So
Yeah.
we took a look at this since the last meeting, and the citation that we received for the dust control plan doesn't apply to quarrying or blasting in this particular situation. It specifically is exempted from that under, I think it was 406, and it says it doesn't apply to quarrying. Quarrying's in an industrial. So we currently, in my opinion, unless somebody can show me another section which I cannot locate, we currently, and I've written a draft legal memo on this, we currently don't have a dust control plan that we can enforce at that quarry site. I have drafted a proposed dust control ordinance. We have drafted legal memos regarding the preemption issue because it's also regulated by state and federal law. We've also, I have a guidance document for evaluating potential hydrogeologic impacts associated with blasting and development activities from deep and a number of other sources. I also have draft legislative findings for you should you decide to pursue this. But at the present time, I don't believe we have the regulatory tools to aggressively enforce this.
Would that be something that comes through the council, or is this something the subcommittee
We would
take up?
recommend, well, we have done drafts. We have a proposed dust control ordinance specifically related to blasting at the quarry. Not at that particular quarry, but in general.
Just, yeah.
For that type of activity. We have done a legal memo regarding the preemption issues as to how the town would have to go about passing that type of an ordinance, because DEEP does have jurisdiction with regard to blasting and how you handle that, as well as the other issues with other impacts that go beyond the dust impact. All right. So we have done a substantial amount of work, and I understand from the videos, and I understand the fugitive dust issue. I just don't think that right now we have the administrative tools to enforce this. The current dust control plan does not apply to quarrying activities. I think it's 406 in the regulations. So what happens is, if you just look at the dust control plan and you just saw that part of the section, you would say, here it is. But if you go to the beginning of the chapter, which sets out the authority for all of those sections, it specifically says it does not apply to quarrying activities. So right now on our books, I'm not able to find any ordinance or regulation that would allow us to go in and do the type of enforcement that we're seeing on that video. We have done drafts.
But do you believe right now, knowing what you know now, that the town does have the authority, though, to put a plan in place and execute the plan?
Yes, the way that, and I did do a draft, and I hate to just talk off the cuff because they are drafts, but they're pretty detailed and they're pretty substantial. The way that you would have to regulate it is through the town's police power. To regulate would essentially be considered a nuisance. So it would be a health issue, not a question of how you do the blasting. Those types of things are preempted. And so there's a couple of cases. There's a federal court case right now involving West Haven. There's another case because there was originally OLR had issued guidance that we don't have authority to do this. That's at 2006. But since then, there's been a couple of cases that I think make that not a good opinion, and that there is room for the town to do it. And with regard to the DEEP report that I just showed you, I mean, DEEP is basically saying that this is an issue that really local is appropriate. Now, it's not, that report is tailored more to the aquifer issues, doesn't specifically talk about the dust, but the whole idea of the policy and the history would be applicable to this. So I just wanted to be clear. I understand why there's frustration, and I do think that, unless you really take a careful read on that dust control part of our regulations, you might think it might apply, but it does not.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned blasting several times.
Yes.
This video was not from blasting; it was from processing.
But it's a
Would
quarry,
would that still qualify?
quarry activities.
Quarry activity.
Quarry
Okay.
activities.
Okay.
Like,
Just want to make sure that's clear.
anything in a zone, I can give you. I sent an email today with the actual language on the from the section. It's 406. It's the authority section.
No, I just wanted to make sure that the processing fell under the blasting process.
Yeah, it's quarry. It's quarry activities. It's
Quarrying activities. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I just want to make sure that I understand. So you're in the process. You've drafted regulations that or ordinance, I should say.
I drafted a proposed blasting
Proposed
ordinance.
ordinance.
Right.
But
Dust control, not a blasting
But,
ordinance.
you know,
It's
you
got nothing
feel-
to do with blasting. It's a
Okay.
dust control
the
ordinance.
dust control, how
That's what
the
it is.
dust is created is
Fugitive dust, right? That's the issue.
okay. That's a new term that I've learned tonight. Okay.
But it says right on the town ordinance,
Yeah.
dust control plan. It doesn't say the word quarry in it once.
So
It
the
does.
source,
At the
so
very
you'll cover it
beginning,
regardless of the source.
4.06 is the very
Okay.
beginning of that section where that falls in, and I can give you the particular. I just
Okay, but I'm talking more about the ordinance that
Sure.
you're drafting. But then you did also say that you feel at this point we don't have the tools to enforce it, or you think that
There
we have
is no
not?
the dust
Yeah.
control plan that's in our regulations now is related to removing earth. So when you're doing blasting and you're removing earth, and you got to get a permit. It's a
Right.
temporary thing. It's not where you have a quarry operation. I mean, I don't think I printed that email. Let me see if I printed that one.
No, I thought when you said about the
I can
not
read
having
right
the
off of
tools,
it.
it was in terms of the proposed.
No, what I meant was we don't have a regulatory. Here it is, section 4.06, removal and deposition of earth material. So 4.06 is the section that contains the dust control plan. All right? So that's 4.066D, dust control plan. The very beginning, it says, for the purposes of this section, the term earth material does not include rock quarries and associated processing activities, which are permitted only within quarry industrial zones. So it's knocking that activity out as being regulated here, and it's not regulated anyplace else with regard to dust control that we could find.
Okay, but that's what we currently have.
That's what we currently have. So
Okay, now I thought when you mentioned the tools that reference to a proposed ordinance.
no, what I meant was currently in place. That's what I
Okay.
meant.
So in terms of the proposed ordinance, we would have to certainly
I've drafted
plan
one.
how we would enforce it as well.
It's all in the ordinance.
It's all in the
Yeah,
proposed. Okay.
you'd have to decide. I mean, you'd have to decide between zoning enforcement and health.
Okay.
But those are the two ways that you'd go about enforcing it.
Okay, just wanted to be clear in terms of the comment that you made about not having the tools, that it did not apply to the proposed.
Maybe that was a bad term to use the word tools. We certainly have the authority. We currently do not have a regulation that specifically regulates that.
Okay.
And that's not surprising given the level of regulation by the state and the federal government there.
Okay. Yeah.
And the fact that in 2006, OLR did produce an opinion saying that the towns didn't have jurisdiction. So since then, there have been a couple of cases, one in particular in 23 that was in West Haven case, and specifically with regard to quarries there in that case. So those are things to look at, and is the basis of the opinions that we've given up to this point, the draft opinion that we've provided to the manager.
Okay. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing that. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Now, believe it or not, you still have just under a minute left, Harlan. Believe it or not,
right.
you can
Just-
if you want.
Like
it.
at a loss, though. Like, what do we do now? You know.
Well, we're I think you're getting a.
I mean,
sense
I think
that-
we can all agree that after seeing that, and this is a daily thing. I think people are just so used to it, but I think we can all agree it's unacceptable
Well, yeah.
to have a
much as
business
dust-
dirty in our town, whether it's Tilcon or this or that. It's unacceptable.
Well, and yes, and to get back to your original question is, I think you go on a website and it does identify Jacob as our code enforcement official.
Mr. I don't mean to interrupt you, Mr.
No, go
Chairman.
ahead.
I can provide a little bit of context there. I know that it seems that if you go to the website, Jacob is listed as the code enforcement officer. Enforcement is not as centralized in that regard. So when our planning office consists of 2 full-time staff members, a director of planning and zoning, and our planning technician / code enforcement officer. Currently, primarily, he is enforcing blight. Up until our hiring of him, I was the blight enforcement officer, and John Bossy, director of technical services, was the zoning enforcement officer. John still does zoning enforcement and is working with Jacob and teaching him to do it so that eventually gets transferred over, so it's not centralized at that point. And then in addition to that, there are plenty of other ordinances in our town code which are enforced by other entities, whether it be the health department, the police, the town manager's office. So it depends on the specific ordinance as well.
Okay.
But
sorry
even
if
on the
that's
health
not
aspect too, I mean, at the high school meeting, we had that lady speak for an hour, and she made it clear that she can't do nothing. So why even have her speak? Then the whole thing with her filing Freedom of Information Act with Rebecca, again, nothing. So who do we do on the health end of it?
Well, I mean, that would, anything health related goes through our health department.
But she made it clear that, and so did the town manager, remember that email? That she has nothing to do with it. What's her name, Susan? Or
With enforcing code?
as far as the health aspect of it with the silica, yeah. Because it's a health hazard.
Do we remember that?
So if I could just address that also.
Yeah.
If you were to pass that ordinance, you could certainly create that responsibility and obligation. And I also want to just indicate for the record also that the mere fact that we have drafted a proposed ordinance for your consideration, we don't have an opinion as to, we've seen video there, but we have no opinion with regard to what the actual effects are, how far the aerodynamics of it, the defective nature of it. All we are doing is we saw the videos, and we then thought it would be prudent to give the council an opportunity to have a proposed ordinance that you could consider and then decide. One of the things you would do is you'd make a legislative determination before you pass the ordinance as to why you need to do this under your police power. And those are the kinds of things you'd be looking at with regard to fugitive dust and the dangers and the risks. Mm-hmm. But I would not make I'm not deciding any of that. That would be for your consideration. I just wanted to be clear on that.
You still have 20 seconds.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. No, thank you for being patient with us.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a quick question
Yeah.
of Morris, just for my own clarification? When you say to police it, is that just our authority as a council to police it, or would people actually be picking up the phone and calling?
No, not the police.
Okay,
What I meant was, yeah, let me be clear for the record. So whenever the town acts and passes regulations, one of the things we always look for is what's the source of the authority. So under 7148, the statute that creates authority for the town to act in many ways, the exercise of the police power to protect the health. It's not the police to go out and arrest somebody or give tickets. It's just the power that you have to protect the public's health is generally, referred to that way. It's not the police, no.
So people would not be calling the police?
No, they would not. All I'm saying is you can pass these types of regulations because you have that inherent power, and it's generally described as a police power.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the council? Joanne? Take your time. If John was a decent guy, he'd bring the microphone to you and not make you get up.
Okay. Thank you. Is the light on? Yep.
Lights on.
Okay.
Just your
Here we
name and
go.
address first.
So many issues and so little time.
Can I just get your name and address
Oh,
for the record,
yes.
please?
Joanne Edmond, 166 West Main Street. As I said, so many issues, so little time. However, it's Christmas time, and all I want to do is be happy. However, with the world news spinning out of control, I find that we also have a little problem here in town. We've got trouble right here in River City. Remember that, Music Man? Okay. I think there's a little war on Christmas. We did finally get a little tree over at the library, but the big tree has died, as I understand it. The lights went out, but I hope next year for Christmas they bring that big tree. They somehow find a big tree and restore its glory. It was beautiful. And then, let's see, the nativity scene. It sits there with its shell. Where's the baby Jesus and his mother and father and the three wise men? It was always such a beautiful display at the Veterans Park. Where is it? Why doesn't that get set up and so we can all enjoy it? This is, I'm afraid we've got a little war on Christmas. Did I say that already? I think the wokers are at work, the woker gremlins. And I don't think they're very welcome here in Plainville. I think we should stick to tradition and we should do as we always have done. This is, after all, the United States of America. And I'm going to step up and say that every chance I get. And then I find out this past week they tore down the little church on Farmington Avenue. The beautiful little church. Well, it wasn't so beautiful anymore, but it did remind me, and I'm not going to sing the song tonight. I won't sing, but it reminded me of the song, the beautiful old hymn, The Little Church in the Valley by the Wildwood. If you'd like to hear that, you should go to Google or YouTube and pull it up. It's a beautiful little hymn, and there's many, many renditions of it on Google or YouTube. And it bothers me that I no sooner said something up here about 2 weeks ago, and that next week or the week after, they couldn't wait to tear it down. And it could have been used as a community church. Where in blazes were the clergy in town? I don't think there was one of those guys that stepped up to the plate to say something about saving it. And it could have been used as a community church, and the hall could have been used as a community hall. And I wonder, and then I hear they're going to put apartments there. How are you going to put apartments in a residential section? There's so many problems. So little time to talk about them all.
And I don't mean to
But
interrupt,
I
but your
hope
time
next
has
year-
run out. So if you could just wrap up.
Yeah, I'm going to
Joanne.
wrap it up.
Okay,
I'm
thank
going to
you.
wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm not afraid to say Merry Christmas.
And that's for those that
I'm not a
celebrate that
woker.
holiday. That's wonderful.
I'm a
Thank
worker,
you.
hopefully, but I'm not anymore.
Well, have a good holiday, Joanne.
Please, everybody. Oh, and get the Tilcon. Help
No,
these
you
people.
took 3 steps towards your seat. You can't come back up. That's
Oh, well, yeah, just help these people. Get the Tilcon situation straightened out. I wouldn't like my house having the blazes shaken out of it. I really wouldn't.
well. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the support.
Do your stuff.
Anyone else wish to address the council? Yes, Marilyn.
Good evening. Marilyn Chevette, 18 Milford Street, Plainville. How y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Good. I see a lot of smiles. First of all, I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very happy and a blessed New Year. I don't know why, I still get nervous getting up here. But I'm hoping, and I have a very strong prayer, that you're going to really start listening to the people in the coming year. I am thinking seriously about the trail. And there have been a number of people come up here and talk to you about it going through their neighborhoods, in front of their houses, behind their houses, over the years. And it's become pretty clear that the people don't want it until the rails open up. I'd like to know how many of you are willing to call those people from Hartford or wherever they're from here so that we can interact with them at a council meeting, not some meeting over at the high school, but here so that we can ask questions. I'd really appreciate it. And listen to what we're asking for. We don't really want it. You can put a hold on it until we don't have railroads anymore. You really could. You can just put a hold on it. There's nothing wrong with that. I thank you very much for your time, and I really do wish you all a very blessed holiday. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else that wishes to address the council this evening? I'm going to close comments. We do have one. We did get an email from someone in town who asked that this letter get read during the public comment section. So I will just go ahead and read it. And I apologize if I don't get the last name correct. But this is from Donald and Maureen Mikulogic. Is that pretty good? 90 Town Line Road. And the subject concerns regarding proposed bike trail. Dear members of the town council, I'm writing to express serious concerns about the proposed bike trail route through our property and its potential impact on our business and community. My family has lived in Plainville for 25 years, and our business, Connecticut Motor Car and Coaches, has operated here for 35 years. In 2012, despite offers from other towns, we chose to remain in Plainville because of our strong ties to the community. Our current location on Town Line Road was selected for its privacy, security, and room for growth. Several years after relocating, the state proposed routing the bike trail through our property. While we initially cooperated, the DOT repeatedly entered our land without permission, disregarding agreed-upon guidelines. This led to an eminent domain lien that disrupted refinancing and cost us approximately $20,000 to resolve. For years, we advocated for an alternate route along South Washington Street into the park, which would preserve wetlands and avoid flooding risks. We also raised safety concerns about the proposed crossing at Town Line Road and Redstone Street, recommending a safer Birch Street intersection instead. Despite assurances, the final plans that excluded privacy barriers and landscaping, leaving us to bear those costs ourselves. The state's offer for our property was inadequate, and we were given 1 week to accept or face eminent domain. Further investigation revealed unresolved disputes with other property owners and undervalued appraisals. We have since engaged legal counsel to protect our rights, who has brought a lawsuit against the state on the basis that it lacks eminent domain authority for multi-use trails along non-state roads. Our property is unique, with significant future development potential that would be severely compromised by this project. The proposed route threatens wetlands, security, and business viability. While the town of Plainville has been supportive, the state has consistently acted contrary to its commitments. We urge the council to oppose this plan and explore alternatives that do not harm residents or businesses. We have also sought assistance from Senators Martin and State Representative Martinez. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Donald and Maureen. All right, so thank you, everyone, for your comments. We'll go ahead and close the public comment section of the meeting. There is no old business. I know the state's coming back the new year, we'll have a meeting with them, but nothing tonight. And actually, there's only one item under new business.
Mr. Chair,
Councilwoman Tompkins.
motion to approve the tax refunds as listed on the addendum.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any comments and questions on the tax refunds? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Other discussions of interest? Is there any other topics? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, yes, I have two items just briefly. In terms of an update on seeking an environmental consultant to help us with the aquifer and air quality. We have yet to select a firm, but as if you recall, we went out to use the South Central Council Regional Governments, their pre-qualified on-call vendor list. And prior to the town planner's departure, he had worked on a scope of services and scope of work, and Andy has since taken on the ball and is working diligently to connect with those. We sent out to 3 firms looking for responses from them, and Andy will be reaching out to them and to engage them. It's just a streamlined approach that we took because they were already pre-approved, that we could just begin to, if they were interested, negotiate with them, and we have yet to make that contact, but we are doing that. Andy has reached out to him, and so we'll hope to have something as soon as we can.
Okay.
And the other item I had, I just real briefly, I don't think we mentioned it unless I was not paying attention, but leaf season complete. We did 374 loads, 8,228 cubic yards, and work was done in 33 days. So a lot of help from the weather, which really didn't affect too much. So
Except for the last week, right?
yeah.
Everything frozen, but.
So I just want to applaud the efforts. It was Tyler stepped up to undertake that in the absence of filling a superintendent. We do have a superintendent on board now, which is great. But I just want to acknowledge the team and their effort as they do every year. I think this was top performance.
All right.
That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else with any other topic? All right. We do have an executive session this evening. We don't anticipate taking any votes coming out of executive session, so as far as the public meeting's concerned, we will go into executive session and then adjourn right from there. So the council has no further business, public business. Could I have a motion to go into executive session, please?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we'll be talking about security matter and real estate acquisition will be the 2 topics in executive session.
Chief.
And do we need to specifically invite the chief in that motion?
You should, yeah.
He will be coming in. So if someone could just add
I'll
the
like
chief to the motion.
Amend my motion. Yes.
Yes.
Make a motion to go into executive session and invite Chief of Police Van Gelly.
All right. And now, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? We'll go into executive session. Everyone have a great Christmas or a holiday, whatever holiday you celebrate, and we'll see you in the new year. Thank you very much.